All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. We're back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're doing Season 1, Episode 2. It is called 084, not 408 like I kept calling it last episode. So full of spoilers if you have not seen this episode. So yeah, I felt like cruising along. I'm pretty sure that the first episode that aired was a two-parter, so I think this is actually the first part of the second part of the first episode, or at least it was like a 2-episode premiere event, I think. So I figured I'd get this one done with too today. So at the end of last episode, they said they had an 084, which is basically an unidentified kind of object, not necessarily flying, just an unidentified object. Pretty good episode too, because like last episode, it's basically setting up the team, and then as we see, we have problems with them getting along, and then finally stumbling together, they become a team. And at the end of it, we see, everybody's pretty solidified. A lot to do in 41 minutes, but it feels like that's a good jumping off point for the show, is these first two episodes. And we get the beginnings of what are going to be our growing conflicts too. Last episode, I said that I didn't know who could possibly have the technology for the extremist stuff. Aldridge Killiage created AIM, so AIM's a big thing. So I imagine AIM probably still has their hands in it, or sold it to somebody for money. But to jump into this one, so this is our first big mission with everybody together. Their first mission was to get Sky. If I accidentally ever say Daisy or Quake, forgive me, it's the same person. In this, she starts to get, Ward's not happy that she's there. They don't really, they've got Fitz and Simmons who aren't trained for the field, and neither is Sky. So there's a lot of problems going on, and a lot of ways that everybody wants to kind of do things. And in the midst of this, they get to where they need to go, and they find this crazy ass thing that's powered by Tesseract power, so that's going to be a big deal. Coulson runs into somebody from his past, this hot Latino girl that clearly they've got history, that history of the we probably did, but we're not going to say, wink, wink. But then, some other people come and attack them. I really love the thing that Ward uses when it brings it down and hits everybody. It made me think of a weapon that was recently where it knocked everybody out that was in the beam, and I don't remember if that was from Firefly or Serenity or something like that. I think it was, I believe, from Serenity. So, that kind of weapon, I believe, was used by Chiwetel Ejiofor in a scene, but whatever. I'm getting out of track. I'm just connecting Joss Whedon stuff. But if that's actual technology and not just a throwback, that'd be cool if it was a little nod to Firefly. But that was pretty cool. I did also think, I think the action's really good. I think the stunt work is really good. But that first scene in the jungle just made me think that we were watching some Disney action stunt show. It just felt really phony. The set just didn't look that great. And that's, hey, what are you going to do, man? It's TV, and you got a budget, and you got to pretend that you're somewhere. It's not like they're not at a studio. It's just, this one really looked like a set, and it just kind of bugged me a little bit. Or not bugged me, it just took me out of it a little bit. They just built it like a fort in the backyard. But what I love about this, this episode is the first beginning of it, when you see you hear Coulson say, oh, it's clear sailing from here on out. And what that leads to. And of course, a hole gets blown in the jet. Somebody flies out. Coulson's hanging on for dear life. And that's the beginning. I love how you think you could possibly think by watching most of this episode where you think it's going to go. And I love that this episode fools you into thinking that you think you know where you're going, and then they twist it on you. And I forgot. I mean, it has been about 4 or 5 years since I've watched this, so it was nice to be surprised again. How everything goes down on here. So they get back to the bus, and this is when tempers are flaring and everybody's arguing, and Coulson's like, "Don't yell in front of my friends or in front of the hot chick. I'm trying to get some action later." But everybody's problems start to come to a head, and then all of a sudden, Coulson's buddy Carmelita, or whatever, Carmela. First, okay, so Carmelita, did I just mention a Sly Cooper character and a Sopranos character, and just like, whatever her name is, the one that's hot for Coulson, starts putting it on real thick, and then Ward starts noticing some things, and I love that we see that they're getting played, but our characters don't seem to acknowledge that they know. And so when you think the bad guys are getting the upper hand, and you realize that our Coulson and Ward already know that they're being played, and then when it flips on them, it's a really great scene. I love when they can do that and make me kind of go, I don't know where it's going to go. And so far, they've been able to, like, in these first 2 early episodes, do some pretty interesting things. To mess with usual cliches that happen in these types of stories. Now, and in fact, I mean, even their little attempt doesn't really work. But that's when things go even deeper, and then they use the thing that they took on the ship, the artifact, and they blast a hole in the ship, and that's what it takes to win. And like Skye reading the pamphlet that flies in her face, and gets the inflatable raft to cover up the hole, and then Ward and May start kicking everybody's ass. And May's stuff too, when they're bringing up the cavalry. Okay, yeah, so this episode does establish the cavalry when they mention May. And she is not happy being talked about in a positive way about it. She doesn't want to be talking about it at all. Now, if you've seen the whole show, you know what the cavalry means. But I love that it's already started this early, this thing that's going to be kind of a running theme for May's character for a good long time. Brought up here a couple of times. And eventually everything gets worked out as it always kind of does. And what is it? It's episode 2. What do you think? They're going to kill half the cast or something in a bomb explosion? But we get that, everything works out. And they pulled together. They pulled everything that they had to do out of their ass. Like Coulson said, they're good. They're really good. You just don't even know. Proving that he knew what he was doing when he was putting this team together. But of course, that's the way it's written. I mean, naturalistically, anything could have gone another way. But hey, that's we want happy endings. I love that we've already establishing now that Skye is going to have a hard time navigating both lives. She wants to be a part of this new one, but she's still going to have tugs at the rising tide, who at the end of this episode basically are telling us that she's kind of like looking to spy on S.H.I.E.L.D. by earning their trust and becoming one of them. And that's, it makes sense. It's a spy show. So, in the end, this is a spy show in the superhero world, dealing with superhero and supernatural type, problems. The special effects in this episode were also really good, and then we finally get to the end here, where, and I'm almost positive this was on in the same night, because first you have Maria Hill, and then Sam Jackson shows up, and I love it. I love this cameo. It makes you totally forget that you're watching a television show. Just his gravitas just immediately elevates the entire scene about authority and how he feels bad about the bar and all this stuff. And, he just brought this guy back to life, and now he's already regretting it. But I just love this. We don't get much of him on this show, but this is pre-Winter Soldier. So this is when S.H.I.E.L.D.'s still going on strong. But I love that when you watch, these now, about the whole thing with, unless it's for your first time going through the MCU and you haven't seen Captain America: The Winter Soldier, you know about all the shit that's going on with Hydra. So anyway, it's cool to watch all this stuff and see it unfold. Since I'm around that time watching the show and watching the movies, I'm in that kind of timeline. So anyway, Great second episode. Can't wait to dive into the third one. That's about, and this is like 10 minutes in. This is about how long these videos are probably going to be. The first episode was more like 20 minutes because it's the pilot and you got a lot to talk about. But other than that, that's it for this review. I hope you liked it. I hope you guys continue to like it. I hope I continue to get better. Sometimes when I'm first starting doing like a series or a season of a show, sometimes just like a series, it could take me a while to get into a groove. And that's why I hope I get into a better groove and it becomes much more natural talking about this show. So just bear with me and we should be getting better if you're kind of feeling like maybe I'm not doing the best job ever. So anyway. That's it. Have a great night. Again, if you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Gun Review saying have a great night, and we will see you later. Deadly Class is coming up tonight, and that will be up later. So have a great night. Bye.